Hi, everybody. This is
Hi, Brooke.
Welcome to our spontaneous webinar this Monday afternoon. I'm really excited to be able to share with you some things that I learned recently from our leadership training that we had, and I invited a special guest, one of my very dear close friends, Teresa Linder. She has claimed the title as very best teacher in doTERRA, probably in the world, I would say. That is her wonderful number one strength. She loves to teach, and she's really good at it. And she took way better notes than I did in this last presentation. I will tell you, Teresa, you might agree or not with me. This was a presentation by Dr. Marissa Heidel, who talked about way more about the Lifelong Vitality supplements than I ever knew before. And I just realized my kids turned my washer on. Can you guys hear that background noise? Sorry.
Yeah, it's okay.
Now we're hearing the thump of the dryer in the background too. Nice. Okay. When I'm not talking, I'm going to push mute and let you talk and turn that off. Anyway, back to the presentation. So Teresa has a phenomenal ability to not only take copious notes, but to basically translate them for us in a way that's super easy and understandable for everyone. And that's important when we're talking about these supplements, because if you really get into the science of supplements, it can be kind of complex and overwhelming. So we're going to simplify it for you, and we're going to start by just talking about why do we even need supplements? Why do we even care about this presentation? Teresa, you might want to voice your opinion on this.
Oh, I have lots of opinions. The truth is even if you are eating the cleanest, healthy diet you can, stuffing your blender full of kale in the morning and you're getting all your leafy greens, there just plain and simply is not enough micronutrients in there to support our diet and to support our lifestyle, especially and our food. A lot of them have been compromised, not just by GMOs, but even by weakened soil strength, by weakened vitamins in the soil, by I'm not a huge proponent of global warming, but even at this huge climate, vegetables and fruit are grown. So we just can't simply get enough of the micronutrients, because those have to be consumed right as the vegetables or fruits are picked. They have to be at their prime picking. As noted, but there's a lot of fruits and vegetables that don't grow naturally where I live here in Texas. We grow cactus really well, and we grow peppers and things that are hot and spicy, but some of those other things have to be imported in, and it's imported, it's not right. We just cannot get enough nutrition. Even if you are an uber yogi eating the healthiest diet you can possibly eat, you still can't get enough of the nutrition.
It's so true. And, the number one healthy lifestyle choice is nutrition. It's nutritionally related, so much so that, in fact, I'm going to turn off my phone too. Sorry for these distractions. So much more so that scientists today designate 95% of the illnesses that we receive today are lifestyle related. So we basically choose our level of health that we want to have. We may not think that we're choosing that, because it comes down the road, right? It's a choice that shows up later in life. So it's not a one-to-one thing. You make a bad choice and all of a sudden you have a heart attack because you had that big hamburger or whatever. It becomes something that is lots of little choices that add up to your health, whether you remain a healthy person or not. This is something, actually a direct quote from Marissa. She said, "You may not realize the disease processes that can accompany unhealthy habits." So just recognizing that those choices definitely can add up over time to create health or illness. And you've frozen.
I was thinking how grateful, just as you were talking about that, I was thinking how grateful I was that my foundational nutrition program, as a young child, when my bones and my body were growing, vegetables and beef, pork, chicken. We had farmer friends who raised all of those things. I'm so grateful that my foundation started there. As I grew up and changed my lifestyle to match a little, and started eating that again, I did notice a decrease in my health, right?
You know, it's interesting you say that, because for the first time in U.S. history, the life expectancy of our children is lower than that of their parents. So children are expected to live less long. Parents are expected to live longer than their children from a health and longevity standpoint. What does that tell you about the degradation of our diet, our nutritional system, our healthcare system? That's another topic for another day. But we are going to focus on you today to make better choices, because no matter how healthy we are, we can always make better choices. Correct.
Exactly.
When we know better, we can do better as well, right? So we're educating ourselves and just opening up as you said, Teresa, earlier to me, we're opening up a space to create something even better than what we have right now.
Exactly.
Okay.
And Marissa said something that I thought was super powerful. She said that health in general, just having good health, creates more space in our life. In fact, all the time that we as Americans spend at the doctor's office, researching, how to eat better, how to be healthy, it creates more space in our life, but it also creates more space emotionally, which is like huge for me.
It's empowering.
When you eat better, your brain works better, you have more energy, and you can do the things that you want to do.
And interestingly, you're more likely to make healthy choices. When you're already eating healthy, you're more likely to make choices that are healthy for you. In fact, it becomes something
not just even not just even your food choices, but your sleep habits and all of the things, watching you become easier it becomes to make those good choices, because you're craving that. You're wanting that feeling of those endorphins flowing the way they should and the neurotransmitters working in the brain the way they should. And so you really do become healthier. Your lifestyle becomes healthier.
Yes. Okay. So let's talk about this. I'm just going to say right off the bat, the myth that all vitamins and supplements are created equal. That is a myth that we intend to debunk today. So if you just think, that going to the regular drugstore and picking up whatever you see on the shelf, or even your local Costco, or even your GNC, if you feel like those are giving you the nutrition that you need, then listen on, because we're going to tell you what the vast majority of people who create supplements in the supplement world, the way they create them is mass production, and they do it to they do as many as they can produce for the lowest price possible, lowest common denominator. So you can pack, for example, let's take your vitamins. You can pack tons of the nutrition from vitamins into a singular capsule that you create in a lab, but it is not necessarily giving you. Okay, let me back up a little bit. Teresa, help me out with my memory here, because I'm going on memory a little bit. One of the things she talked about is the way that supplements are formulated, and what most manufacturers do to get all of that dense nutrition packed down into a pill. And what I remember is
they heat processed.
So they take a bunch of the food and they raise them to super high temperatures. And the only way that they can compact them into, so you're not taking 20 pills to get your supplements, the only way they can do that is by raising the temperature and then pressing them into a small little condensed pill. And what you've done,
and thus get the one a day, right? You get the one a day multivitamin.
That's it right there. it's packed, and so are the sewer systems with, you know, the unprocessed multivitamin pills that you take. How does doTERRA do it differently, Teresa?
Well, first of all, you remember those lovely horse pills that we take? The micro, those are your vitamins and your minerals. And the reason we have to take 4 of those a day is because those micronutrients are flash frozen when they're at their peak performance, right? When you have the vegetable, you pick it and it's perfect and it's exactly what it should be for you. From there, yeah. And we take 4 of those a day. And that's, people say to me all the time, oh, I can't take that many. It's so many pills. The reason we want to do that is because the micronutrients actually are the ones that are absorbed in our bloodstream. They're key. They're really, really key to your nutrition. They are flash frozen, and then they're loosely powder packed into those things, and there's no heat processing. Heat processing, as we know from using our oils, actually kills much of the things. So what you get when you take a 1-a-day supplement that's been squished and compacted into this one pill, it doesn't break down in the body. So basically, you might as well just dump it in the toilet, because that's where it goes in the long run. It stays in your body and it comes out that way, or it clogs up the system because it cannot break down. The other thing that doTERRA does that I absolutely love is they make these bioavailable, and they make them so that they are already is a multivitamin in your body. When it's something that's been squished and compacted together, your liver goes into overdrive to try to break down those nutrients so they're usable. So it puts a lot of extra stress on your liver. And one is by making chelated ahead of time, we've broken them down so that your liver doesn't have to do that, and they're loosely packed. So they go in there, and immediately, I picture like you drop baking soda or food coloring into water, and it just immediately disperses. That's what happens with where to go. And your liver doesn't have to overtax itself to work at it.
Exactly.
And so she said, take them for a day.
Yeah, I love that. So they're loosely packed on purpose, and we've got to take 4 a day on purpose because of that. You know, have you ever read the nutritional label on the back? In addition to like vitamin A, C, D, K, all those vitamins. By the way, they're the right amount. doTERRA doesn't. Another thing that these nutritional companies do is they overdose, they macrodose, because the nutritional density is so poor that you have to provide more for the body to get some absorption. doTERRA doesn't have to do that. So they provide the daily levels for us according to what our body needs, knowing that your body's going to absorb it. But one of the things I notice as I'm looking at this label is, in addition to things that we think of as like vitamin B, biotin, calcium, we also have a whole food blend in there. Kale, dandelion, parsley, broccoli. My favorite that I hate to eat is Brussels sprout. Maybe I should eat it because I'm a healthy eater. I don't know. Spinach, a lot of things like that. But the other thing that I've noticed is that it includes an active enzyme blend. So enzymes are also very beneficial for helping us digest our food and making that process a lot easier in our body. So protease, lactase, lipase, amylase, those are all here to help you with that additional absorption. So when we say bioavailability, they really are available that way, readily available for our bodies. Okay, Teresa, what else can you tell us?
Okay, what's next? All right. So she talks about I just drew a complete blank, the Z omega, and some of you may call it XE omega, but it's like Xena Warrior Princess. It's pronounced Z omega. And the Z omega are your fatty acids, are brain and your heart and your smooth muscle tissue actually needs to function properly. Your nerves, for example, are all surrounded by fat cells, and I think sometimes we get confused with the fact that we don't want to be fat, and that what we don't want is fat that our body doesn't know how to break down. But we do need good, healthy fats, and many of those come from marine-based fish. Out fish. I live in Japan, and I still don't like fish. So I'm super grateful that I have those 4 little red pills that give me some good healthy fats. And of course, I can't eat enough avocados in a day, but I have to eat a lot more avocados than my stomach can handle, I think. So your fatty acids, the American diet would actually you are supposed to have in your body is a balance of 1-to-1 on your fatty. Ours is more like 52-to-1 in our American diet. So that's kind of a huge issue because your body doesn't know how to break those things down, and then you're overdosed on one side and the other. So what they've done is fatty acids are in the 3s and the 6s. So a lot of people will say, but they don't have enough of the 3s. We don't need them because our American diet has so many of those 3s in it. Hormonal health, and we talk a lot about this, and I think are women, but our hormonal health is regulated through our endocrine system, and our endocrine system requires healthy fats to function. And then the other thing that they did is they added peppermint GABA channels in the brain, literally works directly with the GABA channels, and GABA is one of our neurotransmitters that helps us to feel good. Oh, you guys, I wish you could see what I'm looking at right now. I am looking at 4 minutes. I love it out here. Anyway, the other thing peppermint does by adding it is it actually stabilizes the fish oils. I don't know how many of you ever grew up with a sweet mother with great intentions who made you take cod liver oil and a teaspoon. I wish that my mother had had Z omega growing up because it was a whole lot better, because the peppermint actually does stabilize those fish oils so that you don't repeat them throughout the day. I don't know what else to say about your omega. Then it's
I will say there
to
is
brain function.
I will say, and this wasn't talked about in the lecture, but I think it's worth repeating. doTERRA offers a vegan version of the omegas for people who do not eat any kind of animal fats, and it has all of the land-based. So your flaxseed oil, it's called your inchi seed oil, borage seed oil, cranberry seed oil, pomegranate seed oil, pumpkin seed oil, and grape seed. So anything you can think of that has omega-3s in it is in there. Those also have the astaxanthin. Astaxanthin is that they call it a carotenoid because it reduces oxidative stress in your body and supports healthy heart and brain function. So you can still get a benefit. You're not getting the sea-based, but you are getting the land-based with the vegan version.
Exactly.
And it does have 800 international units of natural vitamin D, 60 IUs of natural vitamin E, and 5 megagrams of the carotenoids. So you're getting that antioxidative stress support, even if you're taking the vegan version for that. Okay, so that's fish oils. Is there anything else you have in your?
So those are the omega, right? Xena Warrior Princess oils. That's those.
Yeah. Anything else? A lot of the people. I mean, we could talk a lot. We could spend the whole time talking about the omegas, the fish oils. Number one, though, is it's the number one thing you can do to have a healthy inflammatory response, to balance the basically constant attack of that's weighed against our body on a daily basis for whatever you do. The 2 number one contributing factors to illness are inflammation and oxidative stress, and we're addressing that with the fish oils.
Question.
And that, yes.
So,
do you have something to say?
What? Can you hear me?
I can hear you. Yeah.
Yeah. So I've read several articles over the years about the omega-3s and omega-6s. A fair amount of controversy around that. Was that addressed at all in the discussion?
They did discuss the balance of the 3s to the 6s, and it really balance in the body. But because of our diets, we're very, very heavily saturated on the 6s.
Yeah.
And I wish I knew a little bit more about what the different omegas do. I don't have a lot of information about why it's
inflammation in your body.
Okay, you're right. That's what we talked about. We did hear a little bit more about that from Dr. Hill at convention in September. He talked a little bit about that. So thank you. That's exactly what it was. And of course, I did say that so as far as what is approved or accepted by society, I don't know. But I do know that in formulating these, that they were very careful to formulate them differently for different countries. And this one is formulated specifically for Americans that we eat. That's all I can tell you, and I don't know that actually answers your question.
No, I was just wondering if they talked more about what their reason was. Just because I've seen several articles talking about the optimal balance between 3s and 6s. So it's something I don't fully understand, but I know there's controversy, and I wanted to understand what their rationale was coming to a 1-to-1 ratio. So if it's based on the American diet, but what if you're not somebody who eats the American diet? And what if you're somebody who does eat really clean? Then
I think
it's the balance.
I don't necessarily. That's a question. Because if you're already eating really clean, like we said, there's just still not enough of the supplementation.
Right.
So you do, and enough of the micronutrients. But, and my thought just escaped me. I don't remember what I was going to say about that. I'll come back to it.
That's okay. It was just a question about a really clean diet. I understand that we can't get enough nutrients, and that's a good reason to take supplements. If you're eating the non-current American diet, which is awful, and you're eating really clean, lean proteins and lots of fresh and organic fruits and vegetables, is still the right balance, that 1-to-1 ratio? Is that still the right balance for the 3?
I think I think what we're trying to do is we're trying to get an optimal 3-to-6 ratio in the body. So these balance at that point. Let me actually it's to balance those. Yeah, Lisa, go.
Let me speak to that a little bit. Yeah, and yes, I would say so. Simply because even eating very clean and very healthy, you can have a deficiency. Let me tell you a little bit what you're actually getting in these supplements. If you look at the ingredients, one of the things that distinguishes, this is the U.S. version, the Z Omega, is lycopene. That's the one that we all get a lot of in our diet.
Right. And in Korea, they don't eat tomatoes, but we eat lots of tomatoes in the U.S., so we get lots of lycopene.
Right. And actually, I think they get a lot of lutein. I think that's the one that there. But in this formulation, we only have 1 milligram of lycopene in it, whereas they probably have a higher formulation of it. But that makes that such a small percentage of what you're getting in these fish oils. So the primary ingredients that you're getting they call these essential fatty acids, because your body absolutely must rely on nutrition, on what you eat to get this. And you're getting your recommended daily allowance. So 300 milligrams of the EPA version and 300 milligrams of DHA. That is the core component of your fish oils that is available to everyone, regardless of diet. So they make some alterations in things like lycopene, but they're not altering the EPA. They're not altering the EPA and DHA levels, as far as I know.
Oh, okay. All right. That makes more sense to me then.
Okay, good.
Yeah, so they've just taken out things that are heavily weighted. So, for example, in Japan, they don't even have the lifelong vitality packs we have in America, Omega, because they consume so much fish on a daily basis that they just plain and simply don't need it. I mean, they've already figured out how to do it, and it would be great if I loved fish, but I don't. So I take my Zeomate.
Okay, so let's move on and talk about B. So this isn't like 2 hours long. Let's talk about the Alpha CRS. This is just full with all of the nutritional cofactors that we need for optimal efficiency for our bodies. And you've probably heard of a lot of the ingredients in there. Resveratrol is one of the most popular ones. You know, there used to be, I don't know if this is still going around, where you drink a glass of wine a week to get your dosage of resveratrol, because resveratrol is super good at addressing oxidative stress in the body, and you're going to stay younger if you take resveratrol. Well, I think somebody researched that you've got to drink like 30 glasses of wine to get the amount of resveratrol that you need. So probably not the best approach to do that. This has the right dosage and so many other things. I'm going to read a few of these. If you've probably heard of them, and those of you who are nutritional addicts, you may have even bought these things individually. So Scutellaria root is one of them. Or have you heard of milk thistle? Milk thistle, many nutritionists say if you're over the age of 40, you simply need milk thistle. The thing that milk thistle does is it actually triggers the production of a product called glutathione. Glutathione is your body's own natural defense system against stress. So it's its own antioxidant. So milk thistle supports your body and supports your liver in overcoming a lot of oxidative stress. Polygonum, I've never heard of that one. Cuspidatum extract. Oh, that's resveratrol. That's the real way of referring to resveratrol. Tea leaf extract, pomegranate fruit, pineapple stem, turmeric root, grapeseed extract, sesame seed extract, pine bark. I'm sorry, but I don't eat pine bark on a daily basis. How about the rest of you? And these are the energetic cofactors. And you know, if you watch those late night commercials on, you know, if you ever watch a geriatric movie, you're going to see all these commercials come on that tell you what things have. And you've probably heard these before. Acetylcarnitine, alpha lipoic acid, coenzyme Q10, quercetin, ginkgo biloba. Those are actually energetic cofactors that we need in our bodies to function, period, much less function optimally. And a lot of these, like coenzyme Q10 and quercetin, have been tied, same thing with ginkgo biloba. Those have all been tied to healthy brain function, especially as we get older, where it's super important that we have those energetic cofactors. Okay, so I've been talking a lot. What about you, Teresa? Can you jump in and tell me what you remember from the lecture? Uh-oh.
She said that the alpha CRS is kind of it helps fuel the engine of the body. Can you still hear me? Sorry. I moved my phone down now. Maybe you can't hear. I have to put it up. Better?
Yeah.
Okay. I told you I'm out in the so what she was saying is that the alpha CRS, really, you have to have, like you were saying, the antioxidants to help break away, because you have those oxidative stress can happen internally and externally. And when you have internal, the mitochondria of your cell acts like an engine. It's what fuels your cells. And so the alpha CRS helps to fuel the cell. So the way I look at it, when I look at the Lifelong Vitality Pack, this is just kind of a simple way to say it, especially if you're yourself. Your Microplex VMZ, those are your vitamins and minerals, your micronutrients that help give your body the optimal nutrition in its correct dosage. The alpha CRS is your cellular food. It's what's feeding your cell in order to create healthy cells, right? That's kind of the deal. So the alpha CRS helps to encourage the health of the cell by eliminating all of the exhaust that's created from the mitochondria. You can tell I use my hands when I talk. The mitochondria creates exhaust, just like your car does. And if you don't get rid of that, then you have that oxidative stress. And then those negative ions are looking for other things to hang on to, which then takes the energy out of your body. So, and I love to talk a little bit about this. And it's one of the other products that I take daily to add to my Lifelong Vitality is the DDR Prime. And I had the privilege of hearing Dr. Hill come and present this very first formulated DDR. So DDR actually stands for damaged DNA response. And our bodies have a very specific way of eliminating dead, dying, and broken cells. And what happens is your cell replicates itself, and we're back to biology, through apoptosis, our cells die off and our body replenishes them and remakes them, which is brilliant. So alpha CRS helps in that process of apoptosis. What happens is this, I'm sick.
Oh no!
Call me. You need to fix me. And so the body goes to work to fix the cell. That's just, it's miraculous. I love all these things. If after about 24 to 48 hours, that cell has not been fixed, a second signal is sent to the brain that says, hey, I'm beyond repair. It's time for me to go. And the body eliminates that cell. So there's like communication connected to, you see my cord here, right? I've connected to the wall, and it's my communication signal between my phone and the wall that says, charge up my battery. And when that is interrupted and your battery cell will replicate even if it's sick. And when we have cells that replicate sick, end up with malignancies. So it's critical that we make sure that the cell communication system back and forth to the brain. So the alpha CRS is that cellular food. It's your cellular energy boost. It's your cellular get rid of the dead, dying, and broken cells, and it helps to maintain that connection between the dying and broken cells so they don't replicate. I always tell people that the cell is very much like a boy. It has two jobs. It eats and it reproduces. And if that system is interrupted, then they reproduce. So CRS feeds your cells. Your mito-2 max, or sorry, not mito-2 max, but your microplex VMZ feeds your whole body. Your fatty acids feeds your brain and your heart, and your alpha CRS feeds cells. That's what works in such magic to create optimal health in your body, so your body can do what it was created to do.
That is a brilliant summary. Would you mind repeating that last part one more time?
Yeah, that's your body. Your Z omegas feeds your brain and your heart, and your alpha CRS feeds your cells so that the body can be in its optimal health and reproduce healthy cells. Ideally, we could forever, but I don't think that's really the case.
And the DDR prime protects your cells and enhances cellular communication.
Correct. Enhances cellular communication between the cells and the brain, which is what sends off the neurotransmitters, and this cycle just continues, right?
Now, Teresa, just before we close, do you remember any of the testimonials that Dr. Melissa shared? I know that she's also a midwife, and so she did share a lot of experiences with women who struggled to get pregnant or had women-related issues. Do you remember any examples specifically?
I do. She had some really great ones. And one of the things that she said, the first thing she did was she has them take Lifelong Vitality with the PB Assist and TerraZyme. She said that's kind of the, I don't know, trifecta. The trifecta is your Lifelong Vitality, then to add the PB Assist and the TerraZyme, right, for your gut health. But she said what she did with patients who came in with massive fertility issues. One of these women, I think she had, I wish I could remember what she was diagnosed with, but she would never be able to have children. And she came in and she started using the Lifelong Vitality. She added the DDR Prime to help get rid of those dead and dying broken cells so that the things could begin to replicate healthy cells. She had in a row, and this woman who was told she would never have children was able to not only get pregnant without having to use other alternative methods, but actually just was able to get pregnant and then carry this baby to term. And she had college students, and they were also able to, with the lifelong vitality, EDR prime, and then doing the cleanse 2 months in a row, they were able to conceive, which I just think is miraculous.
Yeah.
It's just miraculous. And it's really it's doing, but we just have to give it the right information. One thing that she did say is that it's important when you first start somebody on alpha CRS to start them slowly, because it is so. It's really important to start them on that, especially if you've got somebody with gut issues, with digestive issues. She said start them slowly on the alpha CRS, like maybe even 1 capsule every day for a week, then maybe 2 capsules a day for 2 weeks, and to the 4. And then she said add Zendocrine to support the liver, because the liver, and when you first start taking all of these things together, the liver is going to go into elimination process. That's what it's going to do. It's learn how the Zendocrine is key. The Zendocrine oil, my favorite way to use it, simply because I don't like the aftertaste of Zendocrine capsules, is just take it and rub it right on my liver, which for those of you who don't know where your liver is, I'll show you. I'm not going to lift up my shirt, don't worry. Get here, as close as you can get up into here. You got to kind of get up in here, so you have to be a little bit partially naked to put this on. But I take 3 or 4 drops of Zendocrine in my hands and just rub it right here on my liver, and I go in and I not. And then you can also take the Zendocrine food complex with your diet in addition.
And so just to clarify, that liver's on the right side.
Yes. Correct. Thank you. This is my right liver's the ribs. And really only a portion of the bottom of the liver sticks out from under the ribs, which is the body's brilliant way of protecting the liver. But we get as close as we can, right? Just like when we're trying to work with emotions, the closest we can get to the roof arm, because glands like brain, and so it's kind of hard to get there, right?
Worst case scenario, you put on the bottom of your feet, right? You don't want to.
Right, and it all gets there eventually.
Right.
And then you don't have to be naked. You can just
Well, and I will say, my testimony to these supplements. I've always eaten pretty healthy in my life. At least I always thought I ate healthy. I'm not perfect by any means. I've had a few many pizzas in my lifetime, I'll say that, and hamburgers and French fries, all that yummy stuff. So, and I'm a sucker for sugar, for sure. But I will say, I actually do feel healthier and younger now than I did 10 years ago. I've been using these supplements now for 6 years. And I've had people actually tell me that I look younger, and I feel younger. I notice my energy levels are better. I notice my skin looks a little bit more glowing, and I notice that my mood definitely is better if I, for some reason, forget to take them, which I've done, like on a trip, if I left them home. I will notice that it's kind of a PMS mood when it's over, when I'm done, if I haven't taken these in a while. And I think a big reason for that is obviously energy and the kind of nutrition you're getting to your brain. All of those neurotransmitters in your brain need nutrition to function optimally. You're just not going to feel good if you don't have them. So I attribute a lot of my feeling good to that.
So second, I haven't been taking the supplements as long as you, Lisa, but I know that I am just plain healthier as a result of taking them. I can't tell you exactly what was missing in my diet. I've always really clean, again, far from perfect, but I eat a pretty clean organic diet at the majority of the time. But I don't get sick as often. I don't get colds. I don't get the flu. I don't get the flu. No. I'm just healthier and have more energy. I am, as I am getting older, a big fan of Mito2 Max. That is something that really does help me because I'm not a big coffee drinker. I drink herbal tea. So I'm a big fan of the supplements as well.
That's the one. My daughter thinks this is ridiculous that I take all these supplements. But I noticed one time, well, she didn't hide it. I was surprised that she could say that and then come home and say, Mom, I'm so tired. I didn't take my Mito2 Max today. This is my teenage daughter. And I'm thinking, Mito2 Max is like for old people like me, 40-year-old. And it's the number one thing that she uses to have energy to get through her day.
Yeah, it works really well, and I can tell if I miss it.
Yeah. Oh, you guys, Lisa, you need to post a link to Dr. Dave's talk that he just did. Did you get it?
Oh, I don't have that one. Do you want to send it?
Oh, it's amazing. But he goes into a lot more, and I was very distracted when he got to that point, but he was talking about how Mito2 Max is so much more than just an energy complex in its ability to function in the body. And he talks a lot about life system. It's a great class. It's about 45 minutes, so you got to have a little time to watch it. But if I can find it, I will send you the link.
That'd be great.
You can post
Yeah.
it for you.
Yeah, please share that, because I might have it, but I've saved a lot of his posts. But if it was actually a presentation that wasn't posted on Facebook or in the Science Side, I haven't seen it, and I would love to hear it.
Yeah, it was a presentation that he did. I want to say, I don't remember where I saw it. I'll have to go back and watch it. Good idea. You start clicking on things you don't remember where you found them. So I will find it for you. But it was amazing. I really, really loved it. He's super good at this. So
Well, that makes me feel good.
and I want to read just this. Yeah, can I read this one last little piece? So I just thought it was. We nurture ourselves physically, mentally, emotionally, and spiritually if we wish to find joy and fulfillment in life. And by opening up the space for health in our bodies and in our brain, we can't see the inner workings of the body that go on without our knowledge. It's critical for us, in order to be able to find joy and fulfillment, that we are leaning towards health and that we nurture ourselves. And one of the greatest ways I know to do that is supplementation. I think really an inspired line, quite frankly.
Thank you. That's a beautiful way to end. And with that, I will say thank you very much for joining us. We can just open it up. If any of you have questions, feel free to ask them. I'll leave it open for just a couple minutes if you want to ask us questions. Otherwise, thank you so much for joining us and being part of helping us share in our joy of this incredible gift that we've been given.
Did they talk at all about the polyphenol complex?
They did. Mm-hmm. And Dr. Dave talks about that too, but the polyphenol complex is so great at helping with oxidative stress.
It's amazing. It's
seriously amazing, right?
No, I use it regularly.
Yeah, I do too. And the more I go up and down the stairs, and the less pain I'm in, the happier I am.
Very true.
See if it was her that talked about them, or if it was the Dr. Dave one. Trying to see. Let me just look really quick. I think it may have been Dave. Go ahead, Lisa. What were you saying?
I was just going to say I don't remember, so I'm no help.
Yeah, I think it was in Dr. Dave's presentation that he really gave some more information about them, but it's the polyphenols that help with the inflammation is really key, is having those extra polyphenols. And it's funny, people will say to me, I thought we could take the
Not deep blue. It's a polyphenol complex. Yeah, I've had that same thing. We'll say that. But I thought you said I couldn't take deep blue.
I know, and I'm like, well, don't, because you won't like it. It will make your stomach. But
to clarify for people who have no idea what we're talking about, there's a deep blue oil, they are essential oils, and you do not take them internally. And then there's a deep polyphenol complex, which are supplements that are branded deep blue. That gives us a clue what they do for our insides. So the deep blue polyphenol complex does for our insides what the deep blue rub does for the outside. One is topical only, the other is internal only. So don't mix those two up. All right. Well, thank you everyone for joining us. I really appreciate you taking the time, especially Teresa, for being our guest host and helping with, regenerate my memory from the presentation. I really do wish that you could have listened to it live from Dr. Marissa, but I think because we had the best of the best teacher and regurgitator on the planet, you got a good benefit from listening to this recording. So Thank you so much. And again, thank you, Teresa. You guys have a wonderful life of longevity using the doTERRA. Oh, wait. Before we go. There's one more thing.
I wish you could have seen your hands going.
I do want to say, and this is for a lot of people who don't understand how incredibly cost-effective these supplements are. Even compared to your drugstore version, these are priced so well. It's very achievable that we can afford all of these supplements. The Lifelong Vitality, when you purchase them on a monthly basis through a subscription order, such as what we call the Loyalty Rewards program, you get huge discounts on this. You actually give them half price what you would pay otherwise. And you can accumulate points that you can then use for your additional purchases. So I will actually post a video that talks a little bit about the Loyalty Rewards program so you can learn more about that. But remember, that's the best way to buy these supplements. And then several of those that we mentioned, like the Deep Blue, polyphenols, the probiotics, the Terrazyme, when you purchase the Lifelong Vitality pack, you can get those additional supplements at half price. So you can mix and match and customize your own supplements foundation, and you can do it very economically. So just wanted to throw that in there. If you want more information about the Loyalty Rewards program, please reach out to me or the person who shared this webinar with you so we can help you get these supplements into your life at the very best price. And now, thank you, everybody.
Thank you so much for inviting me to join you. It was great to be able to recap and remind myself why I take 752 pills a day, right?
Exactly.
Because they're lightly packed.
Worth it. It's worth it. Oh, wait. Yes. Thank you for joining us, Jean. Okay. All right. Talk to you all later.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Have a great day.
All right. Bye-bye.